Hey, hi all. Welcome to BRR Knowledge Center. So in this session, we'll see how we are going to implement thread safety singleton design pattern development. So in the earlier session, we have seen that you know implementing the singleton design pattern with not thread safety logic, which is getting or violating the concept of singleton design pattern. So if we can implement the singleton design pattern implementation with thread safety, then it will carry the standard and the guide, no, the guidelines of singleton design pattern that always having one instance for the singleton class and which have a global access to use that object across all the pages. Let's quickly get into the studio, which is studio for demonstration. And this is what the earlier demonstration we have seen. It's just having this parallel program here to execute the program in multi-thread. So it has been invoked the constructor of singleton multiple times. So how to start this, calling this constructor, multiple times, so that always carrying one instance. So this simple example, shows that the output, getting of this multi-threaded logic being invoked two times of constructor and object creation two times, like now. So going back to your singleton development here, let's go to here, and here it declare a variable object private static. So I'm just declaring read-only object which can lock instance. Okay, this is the variable I'm defining it here of type object, right? So this variable is going to using it for a lock. So we need to create a variable, hence so to use uh, the lock, we need to create variable this lock instance here. Now, before you create instance here, after checking this, uh, logic like instance equal to null, this is where the critical section basically for us, right? In the multi-threaded environment, all the calls are coming here and it is just checking equal to null, and each thread is having null. So if you have multiple threads, multiple instances are creating here, right? So here what we have to do is you need to use a lock. So this lock is a concept of mechanism we have in .NET. So which is basically using it for implementing synchronous calls here. So the thread safe singleton design pattern basically using locks here. This point that you need to remember is, so these locks are the best option to handle singleton instances in multi-threaded environment. So using locks, we can synchronize the method so that only one thread can access it in any point of time. So for a better understanding, so just use this lock here and just validate the variable which we have declared just now as an read-only object. So uh, simply lock of lock instance. This is the variable we have created, right? And we just keep this lock here. Okay. So this locks are being using it for as long as one thread entered into this section, right? So little bit commentation. This is thread safety program. Okay. So as long as thread locks the resource, so no other thread can access the resource here. Okay. Also, as long as one thread enters into the critical section, right? No other threads are allowed to enter the critical section with this condition. Got it? So this is what the critical, you know, I think we have to remove this. Hmm, keep this fine. And once it is closed, this is locking, right? And once this is right, we will keep here. So this is the good. So this is where the thread releases the lock, right? Once thread releases lock, uh, the other thread allows entering into the critical section. But only one thread is allowed to enter the critical section. Only one thread allowed into the section. Okay. Now, after keeping this change here, like putting this lock, and remaining stuff is same. The print methods and constructor what you written, everything is same. Now, when you run this program, if you look at here, now I can see only one time the constructor was invoked. Even though I'm calling this parallel program, which is creating multi-threads. So now thing is, so when first thread is invoked print method one, it is coming here and it is calling instance of singleton. And when this instances method is calling from singleton class, right? It is coming here and being create a log instance object. It is checking for that. So if it is null by default, right? It's not kind of synchronized, and then it comes here. It is again null. Then it started creating instance, right? So very first time instance is created, and then it it invoke a constructor because the instance is created. Counter value get incremented one, and the value is printed. And immediately print method one is called because thread is not released here. This print method one thread, whatever thread it is calling, that thread one is not yet released till it prints this particular print details, right? Now, once this is printed, now it being called print method two. When it comes to print method two here, again it is calling instance of singleton demo. In this singleton instances method, right? It is coming here and is looking for the log instance here. It is logged here, right? It is sorry, it is not logged here, right? So hence it is coming here and it is checking equal to null. It is not equal to null, hence it is not creating an instance. It is written in the previous instance, and then immediately coming here, it is printing method two. So this is what kind of a thread safety program you have to build to avoid the single design pattern violation. So the code implementation using logs of the singleton design pattern thread safe issues, right, in multi-threading program. But the problem is that it is very slow down your application as only as one thread can access the instances method at any given point of time. So it could be something performance problem for us, right? So to do this, so we have to write a program with a double checked locking approach. So we will see that in the next session, like how to write a double checking, locking singleton code here, singleton design pattern implementation, so that it will not, it will not take much time to wait for a second thread execution. Okay. So I hope you understand the thread safety program, how we are going to write it to avoid the violation of singleton design pattern with the locks. Okay, so I just created a variable here. That variable default having some object into this, and using locks, right? I'm just checking this whether it is locked already or not. This is the thread safety program condition we have to put here. Okay, so when you have this, so when it is lost the resource, no other thread can access the resource here. As long as one thread enters into this critical section here, no other thread are allowed enter the critical section until this instance is being released. Okay. Thanks for listening to this video, and please subscribe this channel for more videos. Thank you.